2. Smile at Fear. Chapter 8. Invitation to the Astral Plane. When things go bad, there is a way to look up. What if death is dissociation from the material world after the body's been beat up? Once the senses give way, then you'll remember you're right at home. And did I ever mention our souls exist on the astral plane? It's the place where all spirits roam, said Dionysus. Opening my mouth to call out for the boy, a gooey acidic liquid seeped past my teeth before my hands tried to free my face. Oh, I was done. And why was death such a painful disgrace? This isn't the end. This is the entrance into something new. Death is like getting a parking ticket. No one likes it, but it's something we all go through. And after you get that notice, well, you can go on about your day. And so you head home without your body, and the soul continues on its way, said Dionysus. I could do nothing more than mumble as the stomach fluids and dead fish sloshed back and forth while its belly rumbled a loud quake. The more I tried to fight it, the more a panic arose, causing my limbs to shudder and shake. Well, of course it goes on. Death is just the bottom of the worst. But there's a reason that all humans, animals, and aliens know that Earth is the greatest show in the entire universe, said Dionysus. I wasn't breathing. I was sure of that. Then I felt the slippery serpent come up around my spine as Dionysus took my hand and raised my heart up. What if there's a force beyond death, and it's here to show us the way? What if it's like a guardian with a sharp sword coming to cut our illusions away? Think of how thoughts come and go, the same way all feelings vanish and arise. What if impermanence is our solution? And did you know that the best secret of life appears after you die? Said Dionysus. A secret? What secret? His hand was gentle, but I squeezed his grip once my soul got light. My legs kicked against the snake's belly while it swam from side to side. Dionysus tricked me into another layer of hell, and this was the worst it got. First it was the chains in the cavern, and by the tragedy of the great snake, I was doomed and caught. And why did he speak in such riddles? And how come he promoted death as if it wasn't the end? Oh, Dionysus, this is exhausting. I thought you promised that we were friends. I am your friend and guide. There is nothing here to fear. You're leaving the physical and emotional plane, which is constructed from the perceptions and delusions you hold so near. Oh, Levi, just let the body settle and rest. Allow your hope and fears to dissolve away. Relax because creation can't end. Change is impermanence, which is also the grapevine's way, said Dionysus. My soul got squeezed before I could state my last request. And there was still that secret he mentioned, but there was no time left to ask. Then I heard Dionysus whisper, the secret of death is that life gets even more fun after you pass. My fingers went limp. Next, my body began to curl away. I departed from all I'd ever known, and still I'd never found the grapevine's way. Come with me. Come and elevate your spirit out from that dark space. Do you hear my words calling? Then you realize how we are shifting our perception out of suffering to remember the entire experience is profound grace. You weren't trapped in a snake's belly, since the soul lives throughout all time and space. Come rise to the astral plane. Then you'll notice how the troubles in your worldly life try to teach you about this higher place, said Dionysus. Something lingered in my mind when I felt the tremendous opening through my heart and into my head. As if my own ribs split open, I felt my entire essence slip up my spine, hovering outside my body that wasn't quite dead. There I was, sitting beside Dionysus in a tiny cave within the belly of this snake. He was tending to a small fire nestled within its ribs, as if he was controlling my fate. Wait a minute, was I no longer trapped? Somehow my awareness had risen out of my body when I stared at my layers beside Dionysus as he meditated with his hands resting in his lap. What is this, my boy? Where have we gone? Surely I'm dead. Or was this a dream all along? My eyes were open, but his eyes were closed. Somehow I knew we were still nestled inside the serpent's stomach, but there were all kinds of ideas which I couldn't quite know. And no longer did I suffer, but rather I was alive, looking at this youthful kid. Dionysus and I were both unharmed, and he had yet to raise an eyelid. His skin glowed bright blue, and his entire essence radiated love. But how could he transcend the physical world between everything below and everywhere above? The places we go are but doors within the mind, and if you wish to hitchhike along the cosmic highway, then you've got to get your body, head, and spirit all rightly aligned. That is the exact purpose of death. It's just one big squeeze. Dying puts the perfect pressure to liberate us out of our worldly troubles, so we embrace pure peace. It took getting swallowed deep into the unconscious, where you touch the bottom of the very below. And since you are in tune with me, I'll show you the infinite places that we can go, said Dionysus. Why, just a minute ago, I thought I was dying. I was trapped in that snake's belly, and I was certain you were lying. Is all of this a dream? Oh, how can I fathom what is false and what is true? Dionysus, I am losing my mind, and please tell me why your skin shines blue. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears. Death is when the ego dies, and so the soul rises beyond the world so we can smile at fear. To be a spiritual warrior, one must have a broken heart. Without a broken heart and the sense of tenderness and vulnerability, your warriorship is untrustworthy. The body is but an instrument, not any different from my magical flute, and so we are called to move energy throughout our body's vessel so that the nectar of the grapevine is able to sense and transmute. Life is a divine dance, and our choices carry us through God's song. I had to trick you into being swallowed through the serpent's belly. Otherwise, how could I show you the truth for which your heart longs? Said Dionysus. Now I closed my eyes, and that is when I began to truly see. Through this contemplation, I placed my awareness on Dionysus when I realized that this boy was completely liberated and totally free, for he had the link to the grapevine. He was the transmission to the greatest energy stemming from the eternal source. I could feel a seed of his power in the center of my soul, and so I realized that my life was a tiny speck of God's tremendous force. Did you plan this, Dionysus? Did you know this was the way all along? Sometimes I have to frighten my friends. Then I reveal the magic of my flute's favorite song. I do anything to wake my friends up from the illusion, and that's why a trickster like me can do no wrong. Even when you feel trapped in the unconscious, I'll shock you to make sure you get out. Sometimes it's hard to admit, but I'll do whatever it takes so that my friends know about the grapevine's pure route. And once you touch truth, you're free to grow and blossom just as you are. The reason I took you to the bottom of the unconscious was to show that the journey is happening within you, and now you realize that the conscious truth was never too far, said Dionysus. My awareness stayed centered on the boy when he raised the flute up to his lips and played that sacred tune. Focused on the rhythm of the melody, I felt the snake's body traversing through the depths of this dark pond. Yes, this serpent was a vessel like you or I, and Dionysus had total command. He directed the snake far below the lake to a place beyond the limits of this land. As if the boy's flute led this serpent, the snake transported our awareness while Dionysus maneuvered this cobra's giant black hood. There I could feel the snake moving boulders aside on the bottom of the lake in a manner which neither the boy or I could. There the serpent found an opening at the bottom of this water, and somehow I believed this boy was the snake's king and advisor. The snake's body was sucked into an underground river where an opening erupted like a geyser. Dionysus, my boy, who are you and where are we going? I am the great protector, the ultimate and ancient survivor. And since you found yourself in deep water, I came to lead your soul through the depths of the unconscious, where you have no choice but to become a great diver, said Dionysus. The flute song grew when the boy's essence began to shine more brilliant than before. As if I could see 1,000 faces within his luminous form, Dionysus was impossible to know. Grow, said Dionysus. The journey is always occurring right in here. Then he tapped the center of my heart.